Welcome back, guys,
Welcome back.
to Baby Got Sex.
This week we have Emily Henry's Book Lovers.
And boy, did I love this book.
Wow.
Honestly, just thought of that at the top of my head.
I like it. Congrats.
Thanks. I was pretty proud of it.
This is the second book of hers I've read.
This was my first, and I loved it.
It's really good. I rated People We Meet on Vacation or Met on Vacation a 3, but that was Friends to Lovers, and I'm not a huge fan.
Okay.
But I love her writing.
This is more
loosely enemies to lovers.
I wouldn't say full-on enemies to lover.
Career nemesis is what she calls him.
Yeah,
to lovers.
I would say
and
that.
I loved it.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I forgot what I rated it and why. I think it's just a 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I didn't have any issues with this.
I was gonna say, if you did, I'd need to know.
You'd fight.
Yeah, no, this was fantastic. So,
what did you rate it?
Oh, 5.
Yeah.
No, this was, like I said, I couldn't put this, like, I literally had to tell myself to go to sleep and physically put the book down so I could go to bed, so I could go to work.
Couldn't put it down, and I ended up reading it all day. I had other plans, and I was just going to start it and read a chapter or two, and then it was nighttime, and I was done. And, like...
Funny how that happened.
Yeah. Process emotions.
It was so good. I was reading it on lunch. I was reading it as soon as I got home.
What's crazy is, I guess, beach read is what kind of the consensus that the public is their favorite of hers, apparently.
Interesting.
It's not even this one. So I'm excited to read beach
read. Well, now I have to, I don't know when I'm gonna, like I said, I literally, the only time that I have to read is for these podcast. So maybe if we put it as a podcast book, then I can read it. Other than
at least we choose damn good books for this.
Exactly. I want to see though what
the ratings, what we got going on.
Yeah,
what do the people say?
4.23 stars, 541,562 ratings.
Holy shit!
500,000.
Yeah.
4.23 stars. Now. I want to go to the 1 star.
Yeah, we need to see.
Let's see if I can...
What awful, wrong things people are saying.
Kyo? It's K-I-O. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher these names.
Kyo. I would assume.
Started with LMAO, what is this? What? I have never struggled through a romance book as much as I did with this one.
They must like Penelope Douglas Credence then.
Oh, that was rough book to read.
Answer.
They said Nora mid, Charlie mid, Libby mid. I'm sorry, but there is not a single thing about this book that makes up for the fact that there is no substance to it. It feels like Emily Henry considered every trope that sells and decided to bunch them all up and incorporate them into this mess of a book. Some of it was just so unappealing. I'm so disappointed. What? I was so into the sibling relationship until they unironically referred to each other as Sissy, please. Okay.
Please.
Annie 5 months ago rated it a 1 star. It's clear now that Emily Henry is not my author.
Okay, at least they're admitting it's not good for them.
Booked and Busy 8 months ago rated it a 1 star. I hated everything about this. If I could give it 0 stars, I would. Oh. Honestly, this is my favorite part of it.
It's good.
It's really good.
I will say, it's 1 stars. Really good. People are unleashed.
Flo. That's the name. Flo. 1 month ago, horrible book. Emily Henry name drops books like they are brands she wants you to know she can afford. I've seen robots basically calling her characters robots. Yeah.
What? I mean, it's a book called Book Lovers. Of course, they're gonna mention books they love.
There's a sister there who is supposed to change the formula of the romantic novel. Of course, there is nothing original about that. Think Frozen.
It didn't feel forced or anything.
Someone said, or the same Flo. We're still on Flo. It's my second bad read from Emily Henry, so I'm going to ignore the rave reviews. I am more likely to give a chance to 50 Shades of Grey. At least people don't pretend that the writing is good with it. Not that Book Lovers would work as a bad book. It's just too boring for that.
What? I feel like people just sometimes want to be against the popular opinion, and so
Someone
they have
didn't
to
even
have
finish
their
it.
what?
Someone put it as a DNF.
How
I'm
dare
disappointed.
they?
That's what they put.
I'm disappointed in them. How dare they?
They got 25 likes for
They
that
need
one.
better taste.
Danny said this is the most boring shit ever.
Not that people's opinions are wrong, but they are wrong.
Arden 6 months ago said sometimes I want to break every single pencil Emily Henry owns in half.
Joke's on you. She probably writes this on a laptop.
Oh, wow. That is something.
People.
The real romance was between Nora and her Peloton.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
that's
I
good.
like that one.
That's
I like
good.
that. Yeah, people didn't finish
That's
it.
so wild. Okay, well, let's say why we love this book.
Well, let me read the back.
Yes.
One summer, two rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nora Stevens, do you know how many times I wanted to call her Nora Roberts?
Roberts, yeah, I know.
An
I had that
ungodly
too.
amount. Okay, good thing it was just me. Nora Stevens' life is books. She reads them all, and she is not that type of heroine. Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved little sister Libby. Which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina for the month of August, when Libby begs for her sister's trip away. The visions of a small-town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics and meadows, or run-ins with a handsome country doctor, or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences no editor worth their salt would allow, what they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves.
I loved it.
Me too.
This book is 373 pages. I didn't realize it was nearly 400.
And I loved every single minute of it.
And I read it in a day, which proves that I can. And so with every other book that I just read slowly because it's long, I'm lying to myself.
Okay. Just have this like up on display.
It's proof. I really liked it. I love her backstory of how she mentions her other previous boyfriends and how they always left her for someone they've met in a small town, and how she's a cliche.
Yeah, I loved this book so much. So I guess we could start by going through the book, giving all the spoilers.
I mean, it starts with her going through a breakup because her boyfriend had gone to a small town for a work assignment and ended up falling in love with, forgot what she does. The hotel's
daughter.
The
owner's daughter.
The hotel had a baby.
He fell in love with the building.
But she's like on her way to a meeting with Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets broken up with in like a 3-minute call, I think is what she said. This Charlie guy has a reputation of being like blunt and just kind of, I don't know, just
not pleasing,
not pleasant, yeah. And so she walks in and she says, "I'm sorry I'm late, I'm usually on time," and he kind of looks peeved off already, and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna not go great."
Yeah, all he says, he like looks up at her and he's like, "You're late."
Yeah. Ugh. He's a publishing agent, and she's trying to get him to pick up one of her clients' books called
It's Once in a Lifetime.
In a Lifetime, something like that.
I believe it's Once in a Lifetime.
Yes, Once in a Lifetime.
Yeah.
And it takes place in Sunshine Falls, and he does not like it. He does not like it at all. What does he say? And she was kind of mad that he didn't even wait till after their lunch to say that he didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't know what he said. I think he said it was less subdued.
Yeah. Oh, he prefers her book, The Glory of Small Things. And Libby says, this book is every bit as good. It's just different, less subdued, maybe, but that gives it a cinematic edge. And then he says, less subdued. That's like saying Charles Manson was a lifestyle guru. It might be true, but it's hardly the point.
Yeah, he just says that the place is completely unrealistic, that no one would, like, get into the book.
Yeah.
And so he's just...
It's a no. It's a no from him.
Yeah, and so then we go 2 years later.
Well, they start emailing each other. Oh, he says, keep me in mind for Dusty, the author's future projects, and she sends back, if she writes anything about lifestyle guru Charlie Manson, you'll be the first to know. And he sent back, jokes on you, very much want to read that. And I always think it's funny that they're doing, like, a lot of their messages over email.
Mm-hmm.
And even she realizes, like, I don't know why we don't just, like, text each other.
Yeah.
Why are we emailing?
Yeah, so then we fast forward 2 years later, and it's Nora and Libby. They are the sisters. And Libby is obsessed with Once in a Lifetime. So Once in a Lifetime gets picked up by another publisher.
Big deal.
And it's they sell like a million copies or something like that. Like it's a big thing. And Libby and Nora grew up right above a bookstore. And so they've always loved books. Their mom passed away when they were young. Nora was 20, Libby was 16.
Yeah.
So Nora had to take care of her. And so Libby, obviously,
huge romance fan.
Yeah, obviously being the huge Once in a Lifetime fan, she wants to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina, and because her sister Nora works all the time, and Libby's expecting her third child, so she wants to take an adventure.
One last thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And Nora says yes, and they go to fly to Sunshine Falls, and Libby goes over the list she made.
Yeah, she made a list.
It's not a bucket list. I forgot what they ended up calling it.
No. Oh, a life-changing vacation list.
And there's like, wear flannel, go save a small town business, go on 2 dates. Libby wants Nora to like expand her horizons, and she's like, what you're doing does not work.
Yeah, there's general makeover, let hair down, get bangs, question mark.
Get bangs, question mark.
Build something, literally not figuratively. Bake something, save a town.
And Nora notices this kind of includes some things that Libby had previously wanted to do as a profession. Like she wanted to be a baker, or she wanted, I forgot what else.
One was start a fire, controlled.
Controlled.
And then hike, and then in parentheses, worth it?
Question mark.
Yeah, I think she wanted to be a baker. She wanted to be a carpenter because there wasn't enough women in carpentry.
That's right.
And then I feel like there was something else that she wanted to do. Oh, one is go skinny dipping in a natural body of water.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then Nora was like, I don't know, is that good? Like, I feel like something, you can get something and like have it affect the baby. And she's like, okay, then I'll sit on the side and watch you do it. Yeah.
And then sleep under the stars, attend a town function, local wedding or festival of some kind. And then Nora grabbed her Sharpie and added funeral, ladies' night at the local roller ring.
Yeah.
Oh, one was ride a horse, and then she's like, again, and waved to Libby's belly. And so they cross out ride to pet.
It sounds like a list we would make.
Honestly, yes. I'm surprised we have it.
Controlled.
We should. And then
controlled one, if this has to be used as evidence for something.
Yes, controlled. We've made this very clear.
Controlled
fire. If we started a fire, it would be controlled.
We wanted it to be controlled.
When I was younger, I used to like to start setting things on fire.
Oh, you were a little baby pyro?
A little bit. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on the podcast.
Taylor also likes fire.
But
you also like the smell of gasoline, so I feel like those two loves could have gone wrong.
Okay, I'm going to tell this story on the podcast now. This is going to be for everyone. I got gas today on my lunch hour. Well, I almost said while I was at lunch, hence lunch hour. Okay.
Correct.
It's been a long day. And the gas attendant, sometimes they'll clean my windows and sometimes they won't. Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to get me to tip them because I never do.
I never tip a gas attendant.
The gas attendant just cleaned my driver's side mirror. That was it.
What? I haven't even had one touch the side mirrors. And he must have saw like, oh, she's not gonna tip, and like stopped at the side. Was it like extremely dirty?
No. And he made it worse because he had gotten it wet, and then he couldn't get the
dirt
squeegee.
around. Yeah, you get the squeegee in
so
there.
then he was flicking water into my car, and he was like, "I'm so sorry," and I was like, "It's fine,
sir. Please stop."
And then he was like trying to like angle the squeegee.
Oh, you can't.
And he goes, "I'm just gonna push it," and then he pushed it. And then I rolled my window up and my window was dirty. So I'm like, this doesn't even matter. So that's my gas story for today.
You try.
I was so confused. That's what happens with a small town.
I guess we should mention, we live in Oregon, which still actually has, you're not allowed to pump your own gas. There's gas attendants.
Yeah, we're princesses here, and we don't have to get out of our vehicles
us
to pump
in New
our own
Jersey,
gas.
right? New Jersey?
That's the only other state. Yeah, us in New Jersey. And I hope we never have to, because I don't want to get out and do that.
Yeah, I know how to pump my own gas since I grew up in California, but it's real cold out, and not having to leave your car has been a blessing.
Yeah, I learned how to, so I could, when I was in Washington, I knew how to, and I wouldn't make a fool of myself, but have I done it? I haven't done it in years. I almost had to do it a couple weekends ago when I was at Dean, my boyfriend's house up in Malala. I was getting gas, and I stopped at a Chevron, kind of like on the outskirts of Woodburn, and I parked, and I'm waiting and waiting, and no one was showing up, and I'm kind of looking around, and the one guy was pumping his own gas, and I'm like, is this just a free-for-all?
Yeah.
And then finally the guy just came out of nowhere.
Huh. I would have just done it then.
I almost did.
Sometimes they just take forever. I'm just like,
well, and technically it's illegal.
Yeah, you're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah, and I don't want to get yelled at, so.
I don't want to get yelled at. A police officer's going to show up and yell at you.
All of a sudden you go, whoop, whoop. I drop it.
That'd
gas
be
goes
your
everywhere.
Luck, bro. You keep holding and you spray it at him.
Spray it at the cop. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to stop it.
Just more proof you shouldn't have been handling it. Not qualified.
I can't control it. I'm uncontrollable.
I just wanted to start a control device.
Yeah, at the gas station with all the gasoline. It was supposed to be controlled.
Do you think that matters, the officer?
Probably not. What if we started a forest fire and we were like, it was supposed to be controlled? I don't think he'd give two hoots.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Okay. I cannot. Could you imagine me? Put me instead of the bear?
Oh God.
They would start fire. They would light that on fire.
It would.
Yeah, it would. Well, that was my little thing for today. My little story.
His best.
He really did. I told Glenn that. I was like, hey, get this. I was at the gas station, and he just cleaned my driver's side mirror, and he was like, he did what? And I was like, yeah. He goes, nothing else? I was like, no. He's like, well, that's just weird. I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, he's probably trying to flirt with you. I was like, I don't think so.
Maybe he lost the nerve.
I don't know. Maybe
he chose that one because it's close to the window.
I need to get a fake engagement ring so I can slip it on.
Yeah,
I really need to.
Yeah,
I used to do that sometimes.
Yeah, so would I.
In college, I would. Yeah, so people wouldn't talk to me.
It's like, please just leave me alone.
Exactly.
I want to stop everyone.
Yeah, well, but back to our romance book, as they're like, guys, stay away from it. And we are happily in relationships, shockingly.
Yeah, shocking. I forgot Libby lives in a one-bathroom house apartment thing.
Yeah,
for a family of 5.
Libby has 2 other girls.
Yeah.
They're expecting their 3rd, and she has a husband. And they live in, a very dinky place.
A small apartment. Because they live in New York, and that's what you can afford in New York.
Yeah, so with Nora she wants to go to town first, because Libby's going to take a nap.
Oh, yeah. And then, first of all, their little bed and breakfast thingy is at the top of a hill.
Yeah.
They never mention, well, I guess at the end when she has her baby, you can work out, but I didn't know, like, how many months along Libby was at that point. But she must have been showing at least.
She was showing enough. Yeah, I think she was. Okay. But yeah, so Nora and Libby go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina, and the taxi driver was like, oh, do you have family here? And she was like, oh, why?
Yeah.
He was like, because no one comes here.
That'd be the only reason you'd be here.
Yeah, so Nora finds out that Sunshine Falls isn't quite like what Dusty had wrote in her book.
Yeah, because Dusty herself hadn't been there before, but they just looked up pictures for her research and stuff. But Libby stays and, like, falls asleep or naps in the room as Nora goes to get, like, food, and she ends up in a coffee shop.
She goes to get food because Nora said she can't cook.
Yeah.
So she had to find something.
So she had to go find something. So she ends up in the coffee shop, and she's looking around, and she sees Oh, a really handsome man holds the door open for
With
her
emerald green eyes.
with emerald green eyes. And then she gets in line, and then she sees another handsome man in front of her in line, and she like keeps looking at him, and eventually realizes that like, wow, he kind of looks like that Charlie Lastra, and she's like, wow, he looks like a lot like Charlie Lastra. And so she tries this little experiment. She emails him and sees if he like answers back, and so she emails him, new MS in the works, trying to recall, how do you feel about talking animals? And she sends that, and she sees the guy like get out his phone, start typing something, and then she gets a reply back, terrified.
Let me tell you, I love the dynamic
Their
between Charlie
banter
and
is
Nora.
fantastic.
It's
so
loved
funny.
it.
And she says back, what about Bigfoot erotica? Have some queries in my slush pile. Good fit for you? And again, he replies, and she sees the guy. And he sent back, no firm opinions as of yet, but extreme curiosity. Feel free to forward to me. And she does.
Literally
it's called
has
Bigfoot's Big Feet.
Yeah.
It's Bigfoot erotica. And he just says back, this costs 99 cents.
So then she Venmos
such a bargain,
him.
and Venmos him $1.
He sent it back and he goes, I'm
Oh.
a grown man, Nora. I can buy my own Bigfoot erotica. Thank you very much. And then she freaks out and like runs away.
Runs out of the coffee shop, yeah.
Yeah, when he's ordering.
So she ends up getting pizza, goes back to Libby and explains everything. And I forgot, they end up talking about how small her place lives in, but she can't afford anything bigger. So Nora, being the very protective older sister, is like, okay, I have to find an apartment in her price range in a nice neighborhood. And she just tries her hardest to make Libby happy and does everything for her.
Yeah, and Libby also makes it very clear that if Nora and Charlie went on a date, it would not count for number 6, which is go on 2 dates with locals.
Oh yeah, because he's too much of a city guy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden at night, an email comes through and it's Charlie, and he goes, I would have preferred to go my whole life without knowing this book existed, Stevens. And then she was like, you bought the Bigfoot erotica? And he goes, business expense. And he goes, this one takes place at Christmas. There's one for every holiday.
What page are you on? And he says 3, and I already need an exorcism.
Yeah, and then she goes, yes, but that has nothing to do with the book. Which is so fun. Like,
yeah, and she's like real, and she's like, oh, that's not like a very professional thing to say, but like they're past that considering they're talking about Bigfoot erotica.
Then they're bantering back and forth, and that's when he calls her the shark.
Oh yeah, that's when she finds out, I guess people call her the shark in the business because she's so adamant about her clients and getting the best deals for them and like not taking anything less.
Yeah, and like they're bantering back and forth, and she's in her head, she's like, is he flirting? She's like, am I
flirting?
Yeah.
I'm bored, yes, but not that bored. Never that bored.
Yeah, and then we kind of see Sonora has night terrors.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We see that pretty early on, like in chapter 4.
It's just about the loss of their mom.
Yeah, so she has to know where Libby is.
Yeah, because Libby did not take, well, neither of them took their mother's death very well, but Libby especially was like, well, what do we do now? She didn't think that they could make it.
Yeah, because she was 16 at the time.
Yeah, and so Nora got
she became
guardian.
Yeah, she got guardianship. Well, and it came to light too towards the end of the book that she was actually living with her boyfriend at the time when her mom passed, and her phone had died, and she didn't charge it in the morning either. And Libby was the one that found their mom, and
so
was
that's
at the
why
hospital
she
alone.
can't leave Libby. She always has to know where Libby is.
Yeah, she can't stay with people.
They go to the bookstore that's in the town. Pretty sure.
Well, they give each other their haircuts.
Oh, that's right.
First off,
the makeover.
Libby cuts Nora's hair. Nora dyes Libby's hair pink, and then Nora and Charlie exchange numbers because Charlie emails her saying that I don't want my work email to get flagged. There's so many experts at this book I can't unread. And so she's like, oh, well, like just have my phone number then. Oh, and then they go to Papa Squat.
Go to Papa Squat.
So the names of these.
They're so good. Oh, I should look up the name of the coffee place because that comes up.
Oh, that's too. Mug Plus Shot.
Mug Plus Shot, and
then there's Spa, which used to be called G Spa.
Yeah,
and then
but her name started. It was like Gloria or something.
Yeah,
and it started with a G.
So they're at Papa Squat's, which is just a restaurant in town. Libby and Nora, And that's when they see Charlie at the bar.
At Papa Squad.
And they find out that Charlie is from
He's
Sunshine
actually
Falls.
from Sunshine Falls.
And he's home helping his family.
Yeah, and that's probably why he didn't like the book. Because
So,
he's like, why would anyone want to be here?
And while Nora is with Libby, she reads, because Dusty has finally turned in part of her manuscript for her new book, Frigid. And it starts with, they call her the shark. And she realizes that this book is about her.
It's basically,
and starts just panicking.
It's like a loose interpretation of herself.
Yeah. And so she just like starts panicking.
The character in the book tries to figure out a way to fire one of her assistants because the assistant just said that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not that bad. I would be happy for her. I want to try to get rid of her.
Yeah. So he starts reading, I believe he starts reading Frigid. So then Charlie wants
to be editor.
Yeah, to be the editor.
And she works it out. She's like, all your notes have to go through me too because Dusty needs a type of positive affirmations as well, and you can't do that. So they team up to do this together, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like a lot of banter.
It's a lot of banter. They end up finding out Charlie's mom owns the bookstore in town, and he works there to help out because the mom has to take care of their dad who had a stroke.
Yeah.
And
then Libby fixates on the bookstore and tries.
And just Nora and Charlie just talk more. Oh, and his parents own the bed and breakfast that they're staying at. His mom thinks she's hot because as soon as she left the bookstore, the mom was like, oh, a pretty lady just came in.
And no ring.
And she's tall.
And Nora actually ends up accidentally going out with Charlie's cousin Shepherd.
That's right.
And she let him out easy, like, I'm not into you, I'm into someone else.
Yeah.
And then Libby has kind of a scare towards the end where she faints.
Oh, that's right.
And come to find out she's anemic. And so both Nora and Libby are vegetarians. Well, because Libby's anemic, she's been eating meat behind Nora's back.
When she's pregnant,
and loves Whoppers.
Loves Burger King Whoppers.
Which I've never had one before.
Neither have I.
I had a Big Mac like a month ago for the first time.
Oh, how was it?
It was pretty good.
Huh.
But yeah, so she eats Whoppers and she has like jerky in her purse now. And
yeah, and Libby's been finally probably got it in her head that like, I don't need you to take care of me. Like, I don't want you to keep missing out on opportunities for me, because previously she had turned down an editing position so she could stay with Libby.
Well, and then it comes to find out too that Charlie has to stay in Sunshine Falls. So then he goes, well, if you check off everything on the list that your sister made, I will just give her my apartment in New York. That's like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
That's right.
And it's a fixed
rate.
Fixed rate. And so now she's like, well, I have to do everything on the list now. But
and
she can't tell Libby.
She ends up falling in love.
Yes, she falls in love. Her and Charlie, they don't want to be together because they know that like he's staying. She wants to go.
She wants to be in New York, and he actually recommends her to the publisher for his own position, but she didn't know that when she got the call, and she tells him that, and then he tells her that he's staying, and so it'll be his spot.
Yeah, and then Nora thinks that Libby and Brendan, her brother-in-law, are getting a divorce, but in reality, they're actually moving to Sunshine Falls too.
Yeah, to like the nearby city, I forget what it's called, but
Asheville.
Yeah.
And so
this whole trip was to try to get Nora to like the place and be happy that Libby's moving. And Nora kind of just goes on a spiral, like, oh gosh, she's moving, she's leaving too. Why is she leaving me in the city and our mom's memories? And
she actually starts crying, which she hadn't
cried ever
in like a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she started crying with Charlie and started like freaking out. And then
Libby had set up a festival there, or once in a lifetime, like for the book in the town. That was super popular.
For a fundraiser. Right? For the bookstore.
Was it for the
I thought it was for the bookstore. Yeah, for the ball.
Yes.
The like once in a lifetime ball or whatever.
The once in a lifetime ball.
Yeah, and then Dusty had some signed books.
They had like
a video conference call.
her.
Yeah.
Interviewee thingy. Because, I mean...
Basically,
a lot of this
they
book...
say goodbye to each other and then come to find out...
It's like 2 months that she's in this city or something. Because she helps Libby move out and... 6 months later.
6 months later.
She always goes to that bookstore from childhood on their mom's birthday. And... on the December 12th at noon. It has to be 12/12. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she goes to that bookstore and she sees the book and she goes to grab it. And it's Charlie's hand. And she's like, what are you doing here? And he said that Libby had taken over the bookshop for her mom. Mm-hmm. And that she made a PowerPoint with his mom about why you need to go follow your soulmate or something. I forgot what they called it.
Yeah, and then she was like, what are you talking about? Like, your mom would never let anyone be in the store.
Oh, there it is. 12 steps to reunite soulmates.
I love it so much.
And yeah, so... yeah,
and then it says 6 months later, they are all in Sunshine Falls. There's, like, balloons and stuff. I guess there's a lot of different things to celebrate. Because it was, like, it might look like a birthday party for a little girl. And there's cupcakes. But then it could be celebrating her older sister with learning to read. It could be to celebrate the Brendan finally catching... he thought he finally caught a fish, but it was just a very large bra. But then there was one that says... there was one about the piece of... no, it was the piece of jewelry. Oh, or this could all have something to do with the small velvet box he can't stop turning over in his jacket pocket. And I was like...
oh... yeah.
Oh yeah, and then the mom also had sold 2 of her paintings.
That's right.
So it just seems like there's a ton of things that could celebrate. Yeah, and then also it said there's nothing inside the box. She mentioned once that if she ever got married, she'd choose the ring herself.
She'd want to choose the ring herself.
And then the ice blonde woman leaning against him has known for weeks already what she's going to say. She made a pro-con list, but only ended up writing his name at her pro and possibly wearing a piece of jewelry I didn't pick out for life under con. I love it.
The whole lore of this book is their relationship together and just following how they talk to each other and like what they do because it's so funny.
Yeah, so if you like the enemy lovers trope, it's I would say enemies to lovers.
It's enemies to lovers,
but
essentially.
The banter in this book,
so
I can't say good enough things. It's so good. I loved it. Like I hope we can maybe during the summer, one of the summer months, like June or July, we can read Beach Read.
That'd be fun.
I think that'd be a good summer read.
And Emily Henry has a new book coming out I think the first half of this year called Happy Place. Mm-hmm. That's more second chance romance.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask what that was because I didn't know what that was about.
It's about a couple with a group of friends, and every summer they go on a friend trip vacation. Okay. But they had broken up, but they didn't tell their friend group yet, and they didn't want to like ruin their trip, and so they pretend to be a couple and go on that trip still.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
And then People We Meet on Vacation is Friends to Lovers.
Okay.
I don't know what Beach Read is.
Well, guys, I got my phone.
I also liked how it included the sister dynamic in this, so it wasn't just straight romance per se. There's something.
Whoever said it was like Frozen, go suck it.
Frozen was good. I still prefer Tangled.
Beach Read. I don't know if it says on Goodreads like what it.
No, you'd have to read the little synopsis.
A romance writer who no longer believes in love and a literary writer stuck in a rut engaged in summer-long challenge. Okay, this not. I was like, wait, am I reading the same? I was like, did I accidentally?
Fascinating.
No, Beach Read. Okay. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance.
Oh, that's right. I know what it's about. They each write their own genre, and they decide that they should switch. And so she has to write a book that he would write, and he has to write a book that she would normally write.
Oh, because it says when she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. Yeah. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block, and then they strike a deal. He will spend the summer writing something happy, and she will pen the next great American novel.
Sounds like loosely enemies to lovers, too.
Kind of. Yeah.
Acquaintance to lovers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that one, too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. It says she'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously.
I'm into that.
I can't
I
say
just
enough
really
good things about this book.
enjoy her writing.
Yeah, so this was the first book that I've read from her, and I definitely will be getting the other book when it comes out.
It's so good.
I actually own all of her books, and I hadn't read. I have a problem when it comes to that. There's a lot of things that I have, like series that I have the entire series. I have not read a single book from the series.
Well, I told you how I wrote down all the series, and I made boxes of like how many books are in that series, and I'm gonna color it in every time I finish one. And I have like 2.5 pages of series and maybe 3-4 boxes colored in, and like this is embarrassing.
I need to start writing in my reading journal.
I have a couple books in there.
I have not. I've been slacking.
I saw someone was selling like kind of like a sticky note you can put in your books, and it's just like a short like rating. When I read it, and like quick notes.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it can all be, because I think I only want to put like certain ones in my reading journal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't.
There's only 50 spots, and I read 80 something books last year, and I didn't get seriously into reading until like March, April.
No, I blame browsers for everything that has happened.
I'm excited. We need to go back soon because he had so many books he needed to shelve and process. So many people
if you're in the Albany area, he had a ton of books. A ton of books. I've never seen so many books.
To go through. I also need to sell some.
There hasn't been any that I need to sell yet. I need to read a crap ton, but I haven't been able to get through them.
Get through them.
Eventually.
Yeah, you should get that Libby app that I have for audiobooks.
I was going to, and then it wanted me to put in my like number for
your library card number,
but I didn't get one.
Oh, because you need to actually go into the library. Was it for the Corvallis one?
I don't know.
Next week we have, I always get this title wrong, A Stranger in the House. I always want to say, I don't know, but I was calling it something.
I don't know what you want to say either, but it's another Sherry LaPenna book.
Sherry LaPenna.
That was fantastic.
What did we read the end of her for this book?
Yeah, we read the end of her.
I read this book, and it was very good. I just love her writing for a quick thriller. Kind of short, to the point, creepy.
I'm excited. No, I'm excited for it. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about this. Please, everyone, if you like rom-coms, book lovers, is
very, very
book to read.
good.
Yeah.
And she has a new one coming out. It's coming out. I went to pre-order it, and it's only coming out in hardcover. And I have her other 3 in paperback, and it's so rude of them.
Okay.
Okay.
If there are any authors that are listening to this podcast, which I'd be shocked.
No,
we don't. But or maybe people
or you
listening,
want to be an author,
or if you have author friends.
Oh yeah, any publishers.
Maybe start with the paperback. And then introduce hardcover.
I bet it's a money thing though, because hardcovers are going for like almost $30 now. And it's ridiculous.
I just don't understand why you wouldn't start with paperback and then go to hardcover. There are certain books where it's okay to have hardcover.
Yeah.
My Nicholas Sparks.
Gorgeous
book collection. But it bugs me.
It really bugs me.
It really bugs me. I did get because I'm on Lucy Score's newsletter. Yes. And there's a company that twice a month she does signed books for them. Oh. And you can do personalized.
Oh, that's cool.
$18.
What the hell?
For Lucy Score book. So now so then I'm like, crap. I really want to have the things we've never done signed. Because that was my first book, and that was my absolute favorite book of last year.
Well, you can have one to treasure and then one to reread over and over again.
But then I was like, dang it, I already pre-ordered the second book.
That's right.
But maybe I'll do that, and there's a series.
Well, I can pay you for it, because I'll need the second one anyway.
You still need to read the first one.
Listen.
I shoved that book down everyone's throat. I love that book so much. It's fantastic. It's
long. Had a weird reading month.
It's long. It's like 600 pages, but it is. That book also I had a very hard time putting down.
I mean, apparently I can go through 400 pages in a day, so...
Like I said, you need to display this so you know you can do it.
I can do it. And there's something... I romance books paperback I have found.
I don't think
I don't know
own
why.
any. I don't.
They mostly come in paperback anyway.
I think I know I have at least one romance in hardcover, but that's because it was book of the month.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Other than that, I don't. I really try not to get hardcover, unless there's like a couple of series that I have hardcovers for. Obviously, Nicholas Sparks, but I think there's A Flicker in the Dark. That author, I have her two books in hardcover, and then I just have like some random ones. I don't know. Sometimes I just say screw it, because I do like hardcover when I'm sitting up and have the book just like on my lap.
Yeah.
Because then the pages won't flop. But when I'm laying down, like I always take the sleeve off.
I always take the sleeve off. I don't want to bend it or rip it.
I cannot read
it's just
a hardcover.
Annoying.
No.
Yeah. Plus they're bigger and more expensive.
Authors do better. No.
Do better.
I like
a good paperback.
I like paperback.
I actually just crocheted a little sleeve to put my books in, so like to protect, because like if you put it in a bag or something, I'm always scared I'm gonna like bend the pages or like warp something.
My mom has a little bag that she puts books in so she doesn't bend them.
Yeah,
but that's clever.
I like it.
You should.
I'm pretty proud of it.
You should start making them and selling them.
Listen, I have carpal tunnel, and it was very difficult in the first place to make my own.
That's valid. That is valid. Okay, well, we're just ranting at this point.
I guess we are. Yeah. Read this book. I like it. See you next week with Stranger in the House, and then I will have the February schedule. I could put it up this week, I guess. Might as well.
Yeah,
we've had that. Get the books.
We've had that prepared for a while, and then
again, all romance.
I'm so ready.
So excited.
I'm so excited.
I already read Red, White, and Royal Blue. It got a little spice.
Love
more than I thought.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not often, but kind of detailed. Well, I guess.
Okay. Well,
anyway,
I'm excited about it. Well, and we have the first book of the Twisted series, which I've also heard
it's about damn time. I'm
so excited. Series. And then after we're done with this, we're gonna figure out March. So obviously that's not gonna come out until February, but
these episodes are coming. We're fast.
They really are. I think towards we get like maybe 50 or 60, we'll do a like intro to us, like kind of more about us, maybe like where we grew up, and I don't know.
Other like a first day of class.
Kind of.
Tell us about yourself and one fun fact.
Oh, the stupid fun facts. I could never think. My fun fact is I've never broken a bone. That's not very fun.
One.
I mean, it's fun that I've never broken anything. But,
it's fun that I haven't broken anything.
Yeah, I'll have to think of something.
I forget what I had. In college, mine was always, I'm from the Bay Area, because I wasn't from here.
Yeah, I guess
that intrigued people more than I liked, so I think I changed it, because there was too many follow-up questions.
People in Oregon we really like people from out of state.
Either they love Californians or they really hate them.
That's
It's very intense.
You're not wrong there.
I've had to stay quiet in some lines because two old men were like complaining about California.
As you wave your like California ID, you're like, excuse me.
I had to keep that under wraps until I became a state president here.
That makes sense. No, I get it.
But I miss my pretty. It had the Golden Gate Bridge on the back.
Yeah, we've got.
I'm just glad Oregon changed theirs, because yours was like especially boring, and now it's just boring but less easy to copy.
Yeah, I have a Real ID one.
Wow.
Yeah. So now I can travel, even though they're not making that they like moved it even further.
Oregon is like one of the last states to do it.
Yeah, well,
and they kept pushing it, and then
we're very lazy here. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys do not care. There's no way.
And thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Our very strange TED Talk. What else? Oh, check out our Instagram. We have a TikTok. There's nothing on it. There might be one day. Yeah,
I'm trying to get better at posting. Actually, today is Tuesday, and I am gonna post tonight.
Whoa.
I know.
Go.
I do apologize, guys, that my photography content is not up to par like it used to be. It's rainy. It's gloomy. Cold. Yeah. It's gross. It's Oregon.
It's Oregon.
So that's just
It's
that.
supposed to be sunny tomorrow, apparently.
I'll eventually
We'll
get back
see.
to posting things outside
We'll see.
and
It doesn't always
better.
have to be outside. You can post something. We can post something.
Okay, well maybe I'll have
We'll figure it
have
out.
you help me
All
post. It's gonna be for last week's
Oh.
stuff. That's
All
where we're
right.
going.
Follow us on things that baby got stacks, and
You'll
you'll hear from us.
you'll
next
figure it
week.
out.
You can figure it out. You're smart. I believe in you.
Bye guys.
Bye.